Okay. We have attendance?
Yes.
Okay. Public comment. Anybody here for public comment?
They're just getting on now because the meeting started. I see, yes, there is someone. If anyone else would like to speak, please raise your hand electronically now. The first person we have is Linnell Jones. Linnell, if you unmute yourself.
Hi,
Thank
can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for welcoming public comment, giving me an opportunity to share my concerns. After reviewing minutes and videos from last year, I reframed my concerns in a new presentation. It's dated January 6th because I hope to present it through your committee in January. Bill Mooney has a copy of it to share, as do your chair people. Should have included what was inland wetlands in the one map that I used, but that could be reason alone there was need for a permit. Last fall, I shared an email exchange from 2008, 14 years ago. And I did that following reading what was written about me. Mr. Mitch Pillay, Commodore Ramsey, and their attorneys are wrong. It's been much longer than 4 years that I've questioned when I feel fear or see pollution. I've done it since I was a kid. Tonight, I just have one question. Did the Norwalk Yacht Club ever share the specs for their state-of-the-art drain? And if so, could you share a copy with me? Thanks.
Yeah, good question, Linnell. So we do have specifications. I think there is some question as to whether or not they address my personal concerns in terms of their availability, that system's availability to remove bottom paint issues. I think I'll address that tonight during old business if I could.
Thank you, that's it. And I learned so much listening to you guys, and anything I can do to help other people listen to you, just let me know.
Thank you.
Okay, would anyone else like to speak? Please raise your hand electronically now. Otherwise, we will move on.
That's it.
I don't see anyone else.
Okay, approval of the minutes.
I approve.
Second. Steve seconds, I guess. All in favor? Aye. All three of us. Secretary's report. That's you, Steve.
Yeah, no report, Pete. We'll address stuff in a little bit.
Okay. Treasurer's report. Well, we don't have a treasurer, so we'll have to we'll skip that this month and we'll get Joe to get something for next month. Committee reports. Health Department.
Sure. Had 2.88 inches of rain for January. Last year, we had 1.77. And historically, we averaged 3.18 for the month of January. We did have 2 closures due to rainfall on January 2nd and again on January 17th. And there were no bypasses.
Okay. All right. Wastewater treatment, they aren't here. Water quality, Joe. You're muted. Joe, you're muted.
Yep, I got it. We just had a meeting and the major crux of the conversation is Wilson Point Cove and what's been going on there, the work that has been done. Literally, we have found nothing that pointed to the Wilson Point Homeowners Association, but there are issues that are coming in from the north end of the cove that seem to have died down now because of the season, and we'll see what happens in the springtime. Bill Mooney plans on continuing to look into that area because of the bacteria content that's coming in from the salt marsh at the north end. We also had good news that Eversource agreed not to spray while doing tree removal. And Louise also found that Norwalk using a green method of salting the roads, which basically reduces the amount of salt that can get into waterways. And the other issue was Jeff's comment and letter that he put together on the deep permit for the walk bridge construction, which I think, I guess either Steve or Pete will cover tonight. So I won't elaborate. That's it. Thanks, guys.
You're muted, Pete.
Okay, we can't do permits. The police, anybody from the police here? Nope. Advisory, he's not here. Harbor management. Who's gonna take it? Romano? John or Christ, my brain just went dead. John, you're muted.
Jeff,
John, do you want me to talk or
Yeah.
talk about this? All right, well,
Yeah.
I guess you guys all know that the Walk Bridge project is the subject of a DEEP public hearing now. And the public comment part of the hearing will be on February 23rd. And that the written comments will be due on February 28th, unless perhaps we could ask for an extension, but that's something to talk about later. There will be a site visit next Thursday, the 10th, which is for the purpose of the hearing officer familiarizing herself with the site. The hearing is being held because 2 petitions for a hearing were submitted after the DEEP published its notice to approve the project and issue a permit for it. And the first petition was received by the Manresa Neighborhood Coalition, if that's the correct word. And as you would expect, they're concerned about the impact on the surrounding neighborhoods that might be caused by use of Manresa Island as a staging area. And then on behalf of the Harbor Commission and the Shellfish Commission, a second petition was submitted for a public hearing. And John Pinto is the spokesperson for our petition. And at the last commission meeting, Harbor Commission meeting, the Harbor Commission approved a motion, which I'll mention in a bit. But we also attended what's called the status conference for the public hearing, which is the first meeting that's held in the public hearing process. And that's where the hearing officer sets the ground rules and the dates for the different meetings and the different public hearings. And as for that status conference, the Harbor Commission, and again, in conjunction with the Shellfish Commission, submitted a report or a statement of the commission's concerns. And to summarize the concerns, the commission feels that the proposed conditions, so in the draft permit that the DEP published, there are conditions for the work. And the conditions are meant to protect the environment and protect public safety and other things. But we feel that the conditions are inadequate for protecting the public interest in Norwalk Harbor. For example, there is no requirement for water quality monitoring during the course of the work, or any water quality threshold, say for turbidity, above which if that's measured, they have to stop the work. So for the purpose not of opposing the project or slowing it down, we feel that the conditions need to be strengthened, and that the commission that we'll work together with the Water Quality Committee and with both commissions to prepare recommendations for strengthening those conditions. And in the meantime, what we thought we would do, I say we, the Harbor Commission, is send a letter, transmit a letter to the mayor and the common council, transmitting the motion that the Harbor Commission made last week, that we find the conditions are insufficient for protecting the public interest, and that we're going to work during the public hearing process to make recommendations to better the conditions and strengthen them. But to transmit that motion to the mayor and the common council and others, along with the report that we submitted at the status conference, and to ask in the letter to the mayor and the council that they support and participate, they support our efforts to strengthen the conditions and participate in the public hearing process. And we would like, for your we, again, the Harbor Commission, for the chairman of the Shellfish Commission to agree to this and sign the letter, transmitting the motion that we made last week, that we would also ask you to support that motion, and also the background report explaining the responsibilities of both the Harbor Commission and the Shellfish Commission and what our concerns are with the draft permit. So that's a long-winded presentation, but we'd like to all, the Harbor Commission, the Shellfish Commission, and the Water Quality Committee working together, again, not to oppose the project, but to make it, to make sure that it's conditioned properly to protect not only the environmental quality, but also public safety during the course of the work. That's my presentation there, Pete.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Make a motion to pass the committee reports.
So moved.
Motion to pass the committee reports.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, old business.
Is Pete-
Yes, Jeff?
Does that motion include signing off on the letter to the mayor and the council, or is that something to be discussed later in the meeting?
That would, I think it's under, would that be under new business or old business?
Old business. We can bring it up right now, Pete.
Yeah, we can bring it up right now.
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt the meeting. I just wondered if that was,
You aren't, Jeff. It's okay.
all right,
I'll let you.
thank you. Go ahead.
So as Jeff eloquently stated, first the Harbor Management Commission and then the Mayor's Water Quality Committee have resolved to address their concerns over the permit conditions offered by DEEP on the Walk Bridge project, especially as it relates to the upcoming public hearing and as it relates to legal assistance from the city to address these concerns. Jeff, do you have a reading of either the water quality motion tonight or the harbor, which are essentially the same?
I can read the motion that the Harbor Commission made last.
If you would, please, sir.
The Norwalk Harbor Management Commission has reviewed the proposed conditions included in the draft permit noticed by the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection for the Walk Bridge project, and finds that those proposed conditions are insufficient for protecting the public interest in Norwalk Harbor and achieving project consistency with the Norwalk Harbor Management Plan. Specifically, the commission is concerned that the proposed conditions do not adequately address the commission's previously expressed concerns with regard to 1, protecting water quality, 2, maintaining public navigation safety, and that has to do with the passenger boats operation, 3, planning for bulkheading along the proposed Water Street Marine staging area, 4, ensuring future water-dependent uses, and that's with respect to the properties that the DOT would be using during the bridge project, but would be available for redevelopment afterwards. 5, establishing and maintaining coordination with the harbor master and local emergency services, meaning, of course, the police department and the fire department. 6, managing barge mooring locations, which require harbor master permits. And 7, protecting the quality of life in shorefront residential areas adjoining Manresa Island. And then accordingly, the commission resolves to submit during the DEEP public hearing process detailed recommendations for strengthening the proposed conditions for the purpose of protecting the public interest and achieving consistency with the harbor management plan. So I guess what the commission is asking tonight is that you express support for that motion and join with the commission in transmitting that statement of support to the mayor and to the common council, along with the background report that we prepared on this.
Okay, Steve, I agree. Steve, you have something to say?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt that as a resolution in full with 2 changes, such that it says Norwalk Harbor Management Commission to add, and the Mayor's Water Quality Committee and the Norwalk Shellfish Commission. Change commissions to plural and add committee singular, but so moved.
Okay, someone
Second,
make a motion?
That is.
Okay, I'll second it.
second.
Okay, all in favor?
All
Aye.
right.
Aye. We agree, Jeff.
Oh, thank you. We're trying to do what's best for the harbor.
We also got to say protect the shellfish too, should be in there.
Well, the reason behind writing this letter was that we had another meeting the other day with the law department of Norwalk, and they said this is what we should do, because they have not been directed by the higher echelon to weigh in on this. And with everything that's going on, we need Norwalk to file as an intervener, so they have standing in it. And you would think that they would have done that on their own, but they're really busy though. Law department, engineering, they're all busy. So, and we took the lead on it, which we normally do. Just hopefully they'll join with us in this whole endeavor.
I hope so. So, any other old business, Steve?
Yeah, there is. And as a follow-up to Ms. Linnell Jones' kind public comments, we do have some specs for the filtration device at the Norwalk Yacht Club. I'd like the commission's permission to forward that to DEEP for their expertise and commentary with respect to its ability to remove anti-fouling paint-based pollutants.
Okay, all in favor? Nick?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Yes, I definitely think we should, Steve. Because looking at it, when we were looking at it, didn't it seem like it was more of a oil separator?
Yeah, I mean, it's like on the order of a Brita filter, but
Yeah,
not being an expert, I'd like to get some more advice on that.
yes, I agree. Okay, anything else? How about new business?
Bill, did we have anything in the agenda last month that we missed because of all of us being out?
I don't believe so. Oops, let me get, yeah. There was one possibly 908 Nav.
Yeah. Yeah, so we need to set up a site inspection for that
Right.
one. And the 5 Mile River Commission has asked to participate in that as well.
Okay, do you know him?
I think a little bit.
Okay, we got to set a date up for that. Oh, John,
Yes.
what's happening with the harbor masters?
Well, we have,
I heard, what's his name is doing a real good job so far.
he's doing a phenomenal job.
That's what I heard too.
There's
He started his own,
Who's that?
Bruce Lavallo.
Bruce.
But we also found out there were several people that put in for deputy,
Yeah,
and three of them at least have conflicts of interest because they're already on a commission or a committee, which would disqualify them. So we're waiting for the approval from the governor's office through whatever mechanism they use to approve Bruce's commission. Right now, he's acting because as
right.
he becomes acting. So we call him the acting harbor master.
Right. Well, I know the first year he did most of the work. So, and now that he's in charge, it seems like he's, you know,
Well,
also,
he made a commitment to me that he will do all the things that we always thought that needed to be done,
right.
monitoring each and every boat, going after and doing head counts at the managed fields to make sure that we're not getting scrooched on in terms of the numbers that they give us, because we've never monitored it otherwise before.
Yeah. Also pulling the docks in the winter.
Yeah. So that, I mean, and he's been posting every single day. He puts
Yeah.
something up, and I gotta my hat off to him because he's a nice guy to begin with, but he takes this charge very, very seriously.
Right. I agree. So, well, I want to bring that up because I heard he was doing an unbelievable job.
Yep.
Everybody's
Jeff?
been saying it.
And the harbor master's authority is very important as we review the Walk Bridge project, because the statute says that the harbor master is the ultimate or the sole or the final authority for stationing vessels. So how deep responds to that, and whether they're going to say that our permitting authority supersedes the harbor masters is going to be an interesting part of this public hearing discussion. And also in the draft permit, DEEP is giving approval for DOT to moor work barges and work vessels in three different locations. One is in the south, one location is in the south anchorage, and I think they've got 3 that would be anchored there. And then there are several along the main channel on the west side of Veterans Park, between the channel and the park. And then there's another barge mooring area that's identified in the draft permit in the outer harbor, out towards Sheffield Island. But what that doesn't include, though, is the requirement for the harbor master to issue a permit for every boat that's moored, every vessel that's moored in the harbor. So that's something that has to be included, and that the harbor master would have to do and review. And then there's also the matter of the continued operation of and berthing of the two passenger boats, the Maritime Aquarium boat and the Seaport Association boat. And the harbor master has the same authority for stationing vessels at docks as he does for stationing vessels at anchor, in the interest of public commerce and public access and some other issues. So it's going to be interesting how DEEP responds to the harbor master's assertion of authority in this project. But I just bring that up for.
I
Yeah,
think I heard that he'll get his own tenure, Bruce will. He'll have some years with us, that he's not just going to be filling out the remainder.
Yeah, it's not an expiring term. It'll be a new term moving forward.
Yes,
Outstanding.
yes.
That'll be good. Okay, anything else on new business? Okay, next meeting's March 3rd, believe it or not. Make a motion to adjourn.
Could I
Yep,
make a comment? I'm sorry to interrupt here because
no
we're
problem.
spending so much time. Because the public comment period for the public comments for the bridge is up on February 28th. which is prior to the, you're not going to meet again before that comment period is up, and before we have an opportunity to review the comments that are made at the hearing.
Maybe
So
we're gonna have to
I-
have an executive meeting.
I'm thinking that we might wish to do what other towns have done in this public hearing process, is for the Harbor Commission to request an extension of the time period for asserting the commission's special standing. And this has been done in Stamford and Greenwich and Stratford, to allow an extension of the comment period just for the Harbor Commission. And so maybe we could think of something like that. Maybe it's a 2-week extension, but that would allow for the Harbor Commission and the Shellfish Commission
Right.
to have a special meeting after listening to the public hearing comments to discuss the response to and I think that's only fair, since but we wouldn't be asking it for all of the public, but just for the Harbor Commission, and it would give this, and we could hold a special meeting, a joint meeting
Right.
to discuss the comments and the response. I think that might make sense. If you feel that that's something that you would think is agreeable, that might be something to express support for now. Because you're not meeting again until after the comment period ends.
100% support from me, John.
All right. Thank you. Looks like we lost Pete.
Looks like Hagrid the cat may have interrupted Pete's internet.
Yo, Pete.
He is gone. So he was entertaining a motion to adjourn, so
All right.
it is on the floor. Nick, do you want to second that?
Second that.
Okay.
You guys, do you guys have anybody in the pipeline to join your auspicious group?
We have nominated no one, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, if you have someone in mind, please let me know.
No, not in particular. I was just wondering. I know the reappointments are being held up somewhat.
I just got, my cat walked over my computer and put me into airplane mode, so I didn't hear anything.
Now, we were talking about new members to the Shellfish and how the city's kind of backed up somewhat.
Yeah, well, we need a new member for the Shellfish, you're right.
And we're waiting for 4 reappointments on Harbor. I mean, with all the heavy lifting that we have to do and the continuity of mindset and mentality moving forward, we need to keep people in place that are experienced, not,
Right, well, we're trying to get Charles Pogany on. The reason why he's involved in the Shellfish, Shellfish, and his cousin is Dougie Stabell. He does work for Norman, so we'd like to have someone from that industry on the board.
makes sense.
I know you go down Jersey and the Shellfish, the Shellfishermen, 3 of them are on the board.
Yep.
And then the state's on the board with them, but that's a different setup. They got the state one that covers the whole thing.
Right.
But I think this is what Steve and I were talking about. I think we need to have, it'd be good to have one. We had, Dave was the, our, what do you call him? Advisory, and I just think we should have someone on the board that can also vote. And when we want them to talk to the oystermen, we got him to go and talk to them.
Yeah, well, now that's all good because we need a conduit directly to them. And I know you guys do speak to them often.
Right.
But you still need a direct conduit because if there's an issue that's like immediate that needs to be addressed, it's a direct interaction. The only thing, and that holds true for Harbor Commission as well. People just have to be aware of when it comes to voting, where there may or may not be a conflict.
Right.
So in terms of us helping to nominate him, Pete, he'll need to send in a letter, I guess, then?
I already talked to him about it.
And his resume?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would go to Irene Dixon.
Irene Dixon, okay, I'll tell him.
Yeah, she's the conduit.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay, anything else?
No.
All right, make a motion to,
Done and voted.
yes. All in favor?
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
take
everyone.
care, guys.
Enjoy
Good night,
it down
all.
there, Nick. Take care.
Enjoy the weather up there, huh?
We will. We will.
Yeah,
Nick, what are you, south?
Huh?